Rebecca,
Yes, ma'am.
can I see you in breakout room number 1, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone, just give me 2 minutes, and then Mr. Kimber, I'm gonna pick up your case, and Mr. Slimane, I'll take you up as well.
Thank you.
Yes, you need to go there, James.
Thinking about it. Have they said anything to you? No. Oh man, I don't like that man right there, dude. That dude is a
Always here.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I was coming over to talk to you more tonight, so,
Mhm. Everyone, I know it appears that maybe I was doing nothing, but I had an attorney to come back and speak to me about a different case. So Nathan Slimane, your client is?
John Matthew Torres, Judge, from this
All right,
morning.
has he shown up?
He's not on here on the moment, Your Honor. He's texting me saying he's trying to log in. I'd like to give him just another 15 minutes. I think he's doing his best. He's just not very technologically adept.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on John Torres, can we recall this we'll recall it for tomorrow. So if your client doesn't zoom in, when we finish the docket, we'll recall it for tomorrow.
Thank you, Judge. I'll stand by. Hopefully he's able to log in.
Okay. All right, and then Brian Kimbrough, you have been like so patient. You have
Thank you.
patience in your pocket. Do you have any left in your pocket?
I have a little, but not much.
Okay, Brenda, he's afraid. He doesn't know if he should say that he has a little, because if he says he has a lot, he's thinking, is she gonna make me wait more because I have a
I may have
lot?
to wait longer, so I don't.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So he's like, I have a teeny tiny bit. All right, Michael Zamora, who do you have?
Got eBay. Key is present.
Criminal trial division or
Mallory.
criminal
Mallory.
trial division or family violence?
This is a trial division, but can I speak with you in a breakout room?
Well, let me take up Mr. Kimbrough first, and then
Sure.
I have
Sure.
2 pleas to take up, and then I'll take that out.
Okay, I have patience too.
Oh, thank you. All right, who's gonna handle the case for Mr. Kimbrough?
Joe Ray for the state judge.
Thank you.
Judge Jim Oldersdorf, if we're going to do him, let me go see Judge Carruthers and I'll come right back on Mr. Schultz.
All right, but I'm telling you, he's already done his plea paperwork, so I'm just reading the plea. So if you want to, you can.
Yeah,
but-
I'm not going to be anything but telling them I can't get them on the phone, so I'll just tell them I'm here with you and then I'm back out. So
Okay, sure, no problem.
be right back.
Thank you. Court's
Thank
calling
you.
2021 CR 10656, State of Texas versus Juan Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For Mr. Garcia?
Brian Kimbrough for Mr. Juan Garcia.
Mr. Juan Garcia, can you unmute yourself for me? If you could hold down the space bar, it's the longest key on the keyboard.
Yes. Yes, this is me.
All right, Mr. Juan Garcia, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to plea by video conference. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all of the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have, and I
Court will
reviewed.
find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Juan Garcia, showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated, 3rd or more? That's a 3rd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, I do.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, I do.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Juan Garcia, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, they haven't.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, they haven't.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. We can go off the record. Brenna, I had the wrong gentleman there. I kept hearing noise.
I was so confused.
I was too, and I was like, where's that? You know, I kept hearing noise, but it didn't appear that anything was being said by the person. Okay. We're back on the record. I'm going to show you what's entitled plea bargain agreement, Mr. Garcia. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, Punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends community supervision. There's to be restitution to the city of San Antonio, if any, ignition interlock for half the term, and 2-year license suspension. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, I did.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yeah, I just missed it on the fine. Was that to be probated or not?
Probated.
Oh, yes, that is the agreement.
State, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes,
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Now I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your term of community supervision be for 3 years. There be a top evaluation, 40 hours of community service restitution, DWI intervention, and VIP live. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
yes, I do.
Then to the offense is charging the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
It offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objection.
Mr. Garcia, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, I did.
All right, before I accept the documents into evidence, everyone just give me a moment, please. All right. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
I'm really nervous. I can't.
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Briefly, I'm going to ask the court to follow the plea bargain. Mr. Garcia is 68. He is in the process of becoming fully vaccinated. His priors were in 1991 and 97. He's currently not employed, but he lives on Social Security of $1,500 a month. And he takes care of his disabled girlfriend, but he does so without compensation. Again, after talking to Mr. Garcia, I'm very confident he will complete his probation successfully. I'm only asking the court, Mr. Garcia does not own a car. I believe we have an affidavit on file to that effect. And I'll ask the court, if you do order a Smart Start or some device, if you could waive the fee because of his financial situation, and to hold in abeyance any jail sentence, the 10-day jail sentence, to see how he does on probation, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Juan Garcia, when's the last time you had a drink? And I mean alcohol.
Over a year ago.
All right,
over
what
a year
caused you
ago.
to drink this time?
What will cause me to drink?
Yes.
Nothing. I had a blood clot in my brain, so I can't drink. And I can't drive.
No, I mean, this incident is a DWI third. This is not for you with a blood clot. So why were you drinking on that day? Your attorney has told me that the last time you were charged with DWI or convicted of DWI has been many years ago. So what caused you to take a drink on this day?
Well, I was at, my girlfriend and I weren't getting along, and we were in the process of getting a new apartment. And I was in between moving my stuff, and she called me that she was hungry. So being her caregiver, I had to go out. I felt like I had to go out and get her some food since the house was empty.
Yeah, I mean, no. That's telling me that, yeah, you went out to get her some food, but you skipped over the part where you stopped somewhere to have drinks.
No, I did that in my apartment when I was putting up my possession.
Okay.
That was no really good reason, but that's the only one I have.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Sentence you to 3 years in prison, suspended and probated for 3 years, $1,500 fine, probated, 2 years driver's license suspension, 40 hours of community service restitution. The court will waive those 40 hours and give you credit for 40 hours if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination that includes the booster. Court is not forcing anyone to obtain the booster shot or the vaccination, but if you do, 40 of your community service hours will be deducted. Proof of employment or SSI within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. So that means that you are not to accept any government funding or any type of monies for taking care of your girlfriend. You're either going to do ignition interlock for half the term or some sort of portable alcohol monitoring device upon proof of non-driving and non-ownership of vehicle. That usually can be done by an affidavit, Mr. Kimbrough. But if there's a vehicle parked at his home, that vehicle is going to need to be ignition interlocked. So if it's his girlfriend who has a vehicle, I can't have him.
It does not exist. He doesn't, I don't believe he currently has any vehicle, but I'll check on that.
Thank you. Bexar County Jail for 10 days, or either you can do GPS for 10 days and the court will waive the fees on the GPS.
Okay.
So
Did the court,
Mr.
Your Honor, if a Smart Start is ordered, did the court waive the fee on that or no?
That's an outside agency. Rebecca, do they have a, yes, she's shaking her head.
Can't do that?
There, Mr. Kimbrough, there's supposedly a GPS device, an alcohol monitoring device, an ignition interlock device that if you're indigent, you're supposed to have it for free. I'm still trying to do an investigation to have that. I think I need to get Columbo or Murdoch from Murdoch Mysteries, or maybe Jessica Fletcher to find out where that is. So I've still been trying to find it. So Mr. Juan Garcia, do you prefer to do the 10 days in the Bexar County Jail, or would you rather do the 10 days on GPS?
10 days on GPS be fine.
All right, so Rebecca, in lieu of 10 days in the Bexar County Jail, he'll do 10 days GPS, waive GPS fees. And the court is doing that due to the COVID pandemic. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. So if something happens and you can't do it by Zoom, you need to do it in person. UAs, random field visits, 1 time per month. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
Sorry, restitution to the city of San Antonio, if any.
And Judge, on the waive fees, are we indigent status, whichever comes first, or?
Yes. All right, and restitution, if any, to city of San Antonio, Mr. Kimbrough, if you think, of course, if you think the amount is too large, let the court know and we'll have a hearing. Anything else, Rebecca, that you think that Mr. Garcia needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Garcia, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, I'm happy with what I gained.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, and because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you are curious or need to know what the definition of weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Garcia, so many things could have gone wrong. Like, honestly, you could have died that night from hitting the telephone pole, or you could have injured somebody else. Usually what I discover in DWI cases when people are injured, it's usually never the person who's driving intoxicated. It's usually the soccer mom who's, picking her children up for soccer or dropping them off, or either the grandfather who's, going out to buy somebody dinner. So don't be the person who ends up unintentionally killing somebody because you drank. You understand?
Yes, I do. I don't drive and do that stuff anymore.
All right, good. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation is going to go over conditions with you. Rebecca, we have another plea coming up, but it is not for probation.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Garcia, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Kimbrough, you can go to number 1, or either you can be excused.
Briefly go to number 1. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Let me just find your client. He's Galaxy. There we go. All right, James Oltersdorf.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Marvin Schultz?
Mr. Sanders.
All right, and Mr. Schultz, if you can unmute yourself, please. Court is calling 2021 CR 8906, State of Texas versus Marvin Schultz. I have parties announced for the record for the state.
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense.
Jim Oltersdorf.
All right, and are you Mr. Schultz?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Off the record, Mr. Schultz, what happened to your uniform? It looks like there are faces on it. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. This is what I'm going to do when I get out. I'm going to put faces on a lot of clothing, try to raise money for charity. But
So you drew the faces on the uniform.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
How did you do that?
With pen and a little soap. I even have a picture of you, ma'am, that I did while I was sitting here. So there you go.
Oh my gosh, you did that very well. Thank you very much. That photo does, that picture you drew does, Brennan, the words of my mom, I think it may do me justice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you draw one of Brenna as well?
I've not gotten there yet. No, ma'am, I have not. I
Okay,
should have.
because
I
we
should
got
have.
Brenna and Norma, you can draw, and Marcus and James.
I got a lot of beautiful people in front of me. Yeah, I could have done a lot.
All right, I appreciate that.
You're
All
welcome.
right, Mr. Schultz, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you
Yes,
review
ma'am.
that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Oldestorff, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
I'm
yes, Your
sorry,
Honor.
with your client.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Schultz, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I said, we do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're proceeding on the lesser included offense of robbery.
Any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Schultz, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of robbery? That's second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you and your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you are giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, to both instances.
Mr. Schultz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of robbery. Your punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There are no applications for community supervision or deferred adjudication. And there is to be no contact with Osbaldo, O-S-B-A-L-D-O,
Okay.
Pineda, P-I-N-E-D-A, or CVS at 103 Southwest Military Drive. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense of robbery, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. State offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Schultz, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand that you have a right to jury trial, a right for you and your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments or review the same.
Excuse me.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will find you guilty of robbery. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, it's been a long road, but it's been a good road. I've enjoyed Mr. Schultz's input. He's a very intelligent defendant. I think that he will maintain himself in his life when he gets out. And I think that's hopefully going to be a short while. I appreciate Mr. Sanders' helpfulness in all this and his understanding. And I just hope that Mr. Schultz will learn something from this, and maybe this will be the last time we ever see him. I think he's capable of a lot more better stuff than this.
Okay. All right, then the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 2 years in the prison. There's to be no contact with Osvaldo Pinada or CVS Pharmacy at 103 Southwest Military Drive. Give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll go off the record. Mr. Schultz, you got to do better. I like your artistry. So you
Thank
need
you.
to go forth and make that happen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I plan on doing a lot of good with it, and it's given me an opportunity to sit down and read the Bible. So, some good stuff came out of it. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you, Mr.
All right.
Schultz.
Thanks, everyone. Let me
Thank
get
you.
over to Crothers Court.
God bless you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ms. Ferguson, 16C can go back. All right, Mr. Zamora.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. What is happening with your case?
Can we go in a breakout room briefly? Shouldn't take long.
Yes, we can. If we can go in breakout room number 3, please.
Okay.
Who's the prosecutor? Is it Marcus? All right, I'll see you all. All right, Nathan, on Nathan's case, Norma, Mr. Torres, we're gonna have him come back tomorrow. He said he was having problems logging in, so that's John Torres for tomorrow.
For tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Lauren Mccutchen, why are you here? Ms. Mccutchen? If you can unmute, you're on mute.
Yes, I was told, Your Honor, today that I have a court date.
Okay, because I don't see you on the docket. What is your cause number? Do you know?
My what?
Your cause number.
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna send you to a breakout room and we're gonna find out if you're supposed to be here. I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 1.
Okay.
All right, and someone will meet you there.
You need your cause number.
You don't need your cause number. All
Judge,
right,
I
and
think
this.
she's under a different last name. I think because she's under Wilmarth.
Ah,
She's on page 9.
all right, can you let her know her new court date is March 2nd, Robert?
Yeah, Judge, I'll go in there.
Thank you. All right, and Ms. Garibay, I'm gonna send you to a breakout room. Your case has actually been reset.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And, but I'm gonna send you to a breakout room because your attorney is gonna want to speak to you.
Okay.
Your case is gonna be reset for March 17th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm gonna send you
may
to breakout room number 4.
May I ask, will it be a Zoom as well?
Yes, it will be Zoom.
Will it be the same number or will I get another number sent out to me?
You'll get a different Zoom link.
Okay,
All right, so I'm gonna send you 4. Just wait patiently because your attorney is actually conferring with the prosecutor. Once he finishes, he'll come into 4 and then you can be excused from 4, okay?
so thank you so much. You have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Brenna, we are going to stop live stream. We've had some artists this week. Who knew? It's Valentine's Day. So